Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be testing out the Juno Co Microfiber Velvet Sponge. But before we get into this, I thought I would go ahead and sort of let you guys know a couple of things that's going on. So firstly, if my audio sounds a little bit different in this video compared to my other videos, it is because you have probably noticed this way, I am missing a bed that usually sits here. The reason for that is because we are in the process of actually moving house, so it is super stressful at the moment, so many things going on. But I still really wanted to sit down and film this review for you guys and get a little bit more content up on my channel. So if you are interested in finding out my thoughts and opinions on this guy right here, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I did actually go ahead and pick up 2 of these sponges because it does actually recommend that you can use it wet for liquid products and dry for powders. So I wanted to get both of them and sort of test them out and see how they went. So this is the size of how it goes when it's been absorbed into water. I'll just open up the dry one actually so you can compare it. Okay, so this sponge went viral when Nikki Tutorials went ahead and actually reviewed it. So I think since then she's now got a code with the company where you can save 10% off. So I think it's just code Nikki and you can save 10% off if you're interested. Off the top of my head, I think these retail for between $6 to $12 American. I think I'll double check and have that somewhere on the screen for you. But yeah, so what I did was I actually went ahead and, as you can see, I bought 2 of them. So this is what it looks like when it's been absorbed into water, and this one here is what it looks like when it's dry. So there's the difference. It does, yeah, it gets fairly big, as you can see. Now, what's very interesting about this product is it does say that you can use it wet for liquid products and dry for powdered products. So that's why I went ahead and picked up 2 of them, because I really wanted to test them out exactly like that. And also, like, I have to say, as opposed to any other sponge that I've used, this texture is very interesting. So it does, I'm just going to show you so you can see it nice and close. It does have these really cool little fibers on it, and it definitely does feel, just excuse my like chapped nails right now. I've packed my nail polish remover and I don't know, like, so I can't find it. I've ripped open 2 boxes already trying to find it, and I'm like, I'm gonna go and get them done professionally. Again, it's fine. Anyway, I digress. So, as I was saying, so this immersed into water, it does actually feel like, it's weird. Unlike other sponges, I feel like when you squish it down, it sort of takes a while for it to form back to its original shape, and it does have more of a microfibery sort of feel as opposed to, say, your other standard beauty sponges. So yeah, that I did find to be quite interesting, and how fluffy it is, and the texture of it. It's very interesting to me. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and apply some foundation. So I have already done my base just to save some time, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply it like I normally would. Just sort of dot it all over the face. Just for reference, today we're using the Milani, what is this? Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation. Love this foundation. I find it to be super affordable, and I think it does a really good job. Okay, so that'll do. All right, so let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm just going to quickly say as well, I like the design of it. So I like how it has this flat area here, and then it's got more of your dome effect on the back there. I quite like that effect. So it feels nice to use. Like, straight away I'm going to say it's not hard. It doesn't feel like you're beating a rock to your face, which is always good. It's interesting to look at. So as you can, it is absorbing product, but it's kind of like the product is sitting on the top of the sponge, as opposed to, you know, like it full on being absorbed into it, if that makes any sense. So that's interesting. I was actually really curious to see how the fibers would feel. Like, you know, if they would be scratchy or, you know, just uncomfortable to press into your skin. But actually so far pleasantly surprised. Doesn't feel too bad at all. And I think it's overall, it seems to be doing a fairly good job at dispersing the product. So yeah, I'm not actually too concerned about how it's absorbing the product at the moment, because it doesn't feel like it's actually absorbing too much at all, which is quite surprising for a sponge. Like, I do feel like I'm getting a decent amount of coverage, which is what you want. Okay, so I am quite interested in how the design of this sponge, because as I was saying before, it's like the product that's been absorbed it's kind of just sitting on top of the fibers. It's not like it's actually seeped into the sponge as such. So I find that to be really quite interesting, and I actually feel like it's going to be so much easier to clean than a normal blender, than a normal sponge. But yeah, like, so far I have to say I am actually really, really pleasantly surprised. I think this has blended out the foundation really nicely. I don't think it's absorbed as much product as, say, what my other sponges do, which is always good to note. So yeah, so far I'm pretty impressed with it. Okay, so I really want to put this sponge through its paces. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and do some cream contour, and we're also going to do some concealer as well. So for this I'm just going to use the Benefit Hoola bronzing stick. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and blend this in. Honestly, I feel like that just has blended in effortlessly, like truly. So very nice. I'm just going to use the back of the sponge now and blend this contour in. Okay, this very well may become my new favorite sponge. I'm not gonna lie. I recently reviewed the Kmart $3 sponge, which I will, if you haven't already seen, I'll chuck that up in the cards for you to check out. And I was amazed at the results from that sponge. This one, oh my goodness. All right, so let's go see. I feel like the results are gonna be the same, so let's see how it goes with the concealer. Yeah, guys, I have to say, like, I'm super impressed with this sponge. I think it's doing a really good job. Okay, so that is all the cream products down and blended out and done. So yeah, again, I have to say, I think that for the cream products to this so far, it has worked really, really well. I'm very, very impressed. Again, you can see a lot of the product is sitting on top of the sponge. Like, it's kind of like it's like caught in those fibers. So I do feel like cleaning this is going to be quite easy to do. And yeah, it doesn't feel like overly too much product has sunk into the sponge at all. So that is, I believe, one of the biggest claims about this sponge is it will absorb less product and disperse it more evenly, you know, over your face. And I have to say, so far, I would have to agree with that claim. I don't think it's absorbed more than a normal sponge. If in fact, as I said, I think it's, if anything, absorbed slightly less. And yeah, so far I think it's done the job really, really well. So moving on, what we're going to do now is we've got the dry sponge here. So we're going to go ahead and set everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a little bit of my Laura Mercier powder, and I'm just going to set under my eyes. I'm just going to bake with that powder. Okay, it picks up, that's way too much product. It picks up a lot of product. Okay, good-o. Oh yeah, we are definitely baking today because that is a lot of product. So the one thing I'm going to say about the powder side of it is I feel like a lot of the powder is trapped in this sponge. So unlike using a normal wet beauty blender, I feel like the powder is more evenly dispersed as opposed to what I'm experiencing right here. Like if I press in, you can see it's definitely coming off, so that's good. But it's perhaps not doing it as easily as what I am used to with a beauty blender, if that makes sense. And I'm just kind of like seeing, you know, how easy it is that this is the powder's coming out. And it's not coming out overly like with ease, in my opinion. Don't know how I feel about this for powder, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, okay. I'm unsure yet at this point. Okay, so the other claim that this sponge has is that you can actually apply your blush and also highlight with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and wipe the bake away and finish my contour, and then I'll be right back and we'll finish off with some blush and some highlight. Okay, we are back. Time for some blush. So I'm going to go ahead and use this blush right here. It's from Tom Ford and it is the shade Disclosure. Such a pretty shade. All right. So it does, I'm just sort of pressing it. Okay, that's a lot. This shade is so pigmented, so, you know, yeah, you only need a little bit. So as you can see, it's picked it up fairly well on the back of the sponge. I mean, it's working. It just feels, I don't know whether it's just strange to apply blush with a sponge, or do you know what? I think it's just not comfortable for me, to be 100% honest with you guys. Using it for blush, it's just like, I don't know, you know, you get a brush and you just sort of, you get the job done and it's done quick and it feels blended and it just feels, you know, normal and nice and just how it should be, normal and nice, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I particularly like it for powdered products. I don't think I'm going, oh look, you know what, we're here, so let's just do it. I've got the Fenty highlighter, so this one is the Kilowatt highlighter, and we're going to use Hustler Baby. I'm just going to pick up I'm just going to pick up a little bit. It picks up a whole bunch of product. So I will say that it definitely picks up a whole bunch of product. But I just don't feel like it disperses it, you know, in the way that you would want it to, in the way that a brush would do so. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm just not liking this. I'm just not liking it. I'm not liking it. Okay. We're switching back to my brush. Liking it a whole bunch better now. Okay. So now that I've just gone ahead and finished everything, my highlighter off with a normal brush, basically, so this is the difference. I'm just going to show you now. This is the difference between it being, you know, using product dry and using product when it's wet. And I'm 100% going to say, I think that it picks up a whole bunch of product when it's dry, and I don't feel like it disperses it you know, as well as what any other normal blender would do. So I find that to be quite interesting, and I do, once again, I think it has a lot to do with the velvet sort of finish and the design of it. So, you know, it does say, it definitely does say that the idea is that you can use it dry and treat it just like a brush. So what I found when I was doing it in that way and using it, say, how I would normally use a brush, for me personally, I found that it was, you know, I was quite scratchy and a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't like the amount of product that it seems to have clung to, as opposed to a normal, you know, damp beauty blender or beauty sponge. Having said all of that, using this guy right here when it's nice and wet, totally opposite opinion. I think that this one actually picks up less product, as in it absorbs less product than what a normal sponge would, and I think overall I just got a better result. Now, I did read the instructions, just so we're all aware. I just want to put that out there, and it 100% does say to apply loose powders, blushes and highlighters with the sponge being dry, and to apply liquid foundations, concealers and contouring with it wet. So I definitely followed the instructions, just so you guys know, and they were my results and how I ultimately feel about it. So look, you know what? It is an inexpensive sponge. I think that it does the job brilliantly in the way of blending out your foundation really nicely. You know, not using an overly, you know, large amount of product as well to get the job done. So overall, I would definitely recommend this for liquid products, 100%. As far as powders are concerned, on the other hand, I can't recommend it. I just think that it absorbs way too much product. I don't think it disperses it as evenly or as nicely as what it should. And yeah, so overall I was just a little bit disappointed with it, how it performed when it was dry. But yeah, overall I have to say that how, you know, for a sponge and to blend out your foundation, if that's what you want it for, it's inexpensive. I think it worked really well and I would recommend it ultimately at the end of the day. So they are my final thoughts. I just want to point out to you guys as well that yes, I am 100% in my dressing gown, and that's because I'm not going anywhere. I just really wanted to film tonight and get this up on my channel and let you guys know what I thought of this sponge. So yeah, I hope you don't mind that I'm in my dressing gown, but that's how we do things here. So yeah, if you're new, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. What can I say? I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and I'll look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Mwah. Bye guys.